Align fam. Those of you who've watched my stuff, you know how much I believe in desires, and I believe our desires are our compass that's leading us to the things that we're meant to experience or meant to learn. So I've been deeply researching desires, why we have them, what they come from, and I kind of fell upon Kabbalah. And I was reading the ideas and concepts. I was starting to get goosebumps and chills while at the same time I'm feeling such peace because a lot of the ideas and teachings just explained what either I was personally going through or my clients were going through. And so I want to use this episode as a way to distill and kind of bring a lot of these spiritual concepts to life and ground them so that you could use it in a day-to-day practice. And for starters, I am not religious at all. I'm definitely deeply spiritual to the point where I always thought I was spiritual when I was younger, but especially the last couple of years, especially this year, so many things has happened to me that I'm like, there's no way this came from me. It has to be some higher power or some universe where it's not a coincidence that I'm going through such a similar life experience or feeling as someone that I've either first time met or don't even know, like strangers on the internet. And so, just for full disclosure, by no means, and I'm pushing any religion on anybody. I'm not even religious myself, but I think there's a lot of beautiful teachings in Kabbalah that I think everyone can really benefit from. So I think the first topic I want to talk about is this concept of true self. So in Kabbalah, Kabbalah believes that our ultimate purpose in life on this earth is to fully express our true nature, which is our most abundant and most loving self. And it's literally gave me chills because that is how a line was born where I saw so many of my finance clients talking to me about feeling like they're in the wrong job. You know, they put their head down for 10 years and they woke up and they finally realized this is not who I am. Or a lot of my coaching clients saying, like, I've been in this relationship for X amount of years and I've lost myself. I forgot who I was. This whole theme of misalignment. And I saw so many people, especially in 2020, when they got to pause and think about life and who they were honestly extremely misaligned. And that's what really pushed me to start Align because the whole thing is I want to get everyone realigned to with their true self. And so manifesting your true self, I genuinely believe this is the only thing that's really going to make you truly and deeply and sustainably happy. That's also what Kabbalah teaches as well. And that is this idea of realigning with who you really are is actually why I wrote the Great Realignment article with the Los Angeles Tribune. For those of you, if you haven't read it before, I'll put the link down below. But I think it will resonate with a lot of you guys. And I appreciate everyone who's read it and shared their feedback, got people to cry, got people to really reconsider their life decisions, made people feel more seen. I think that was the whole point I wanted to write it. So, this idea of true self is you will never be truly deeply happy and fulfilled in this life journey until you realign with who you truly, truly are and you embody and own that on a day to day basis. The second element of the true self and our true nature is abundance. So, ultimate freedom, Kabbalah believes, is expressing who I am and expressing all the abundance within me and around me. The universe, God, whatever you believe in, isn't on a budget. Okay. It is your ego, your false programming. It's society. It's people who told you couldn't do certain things that limit you. But your true essence, your nature is completely limitless. You have so many blessings and abundance around you. It's just, do you see it? Are you more like kind of like a horse with blinders? Are you blinded by it because you think it's not possible? And if you think it's not possible, you won't look for it. Third element, kind of highlighted from the very beginning, desires. So desires are our compass. If you worked with me, you've been to line experience, you've been to an elite circle. I always tell people, I always open with like getting everyone in meditative, clear state so they can hear their intuition and really follow like what is it within them that they truly, truly desire. Because that becomes your North Star, that becomes your guiding light. Per Kabbalah, this really hit me and this point really got to me. Desires are important per Kabbalah because they actually help you change your patterns. So when you want something so deeply, you're willing to change and improve to be the person that can attract it, hold it, and to keep it. right? I think all of us have gotten a point, whether it could be our health, it could be our career, relationships, where we're literally like in fetal position on the ground. And it literally happened to me recently. And you're literally thinking, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore in this way. I don't want to be like this. And it's like your desire for the thing that you really want, when the desire is higher than the fear or the pain, that's going to get you to move into change. So I think it's a beautiful kind of aha moment where I'm like, so desires are important because they actually get us to move. They actually get us to act. They actually get us to change for the better, which is incredible. Um, and again, our past experiences or other people's projections of like, you shouldn't have this, you can't have this. Sometimes we internalize other people's thoughts and their energy and think like, I desires are something to be shameful of. Like, I shouldn't have it. I don't deserve it. Or it's not even possible for me. And there's this fear of even having desire because there's a fear you're not going to have it, right? Clock and check what is truly your belief versus what you've adopted from other people and what people have told you. Where was it parents? Was it society? Was it a teacher? You have to recenter back into yourself and ask yourself honestly, what do you believe? I think that's really important that we actually did at the last elite circle called Intuitive Edge. That's why it's really important to know the voice of intuition versus fear. And if I had to distill it very simply for you, fear is very loud and it just tries to like get your attention. It's kind of like this annoying or nagging coach, or sometimes like, when your parents are like nagging you, be like, don't touch that, don't do that. Fear is very much of loud, abrasive, and sometimes like very condescending and negative. They're not like really friendly and kind. Your intuition comes in like a whisper. It truly feels like a quiet knowing where you don't need proof, you don't need like external things to say this is it, but it's like it's internal quiet knowing. It's kind of like this nurturing voice within you that guides you towards decisions. And intuition, even when it's warning you, like, hey, don't go down that road, fear is more like, don't go down that road. Something's going to be happen to you, right? Intuition is more like, don't go down there, like, go somewhere else, take this other route. It's much more nurturing. So if you had to distill the difference between the two, fear is loud, it's in your face, it's sometimes very condescending, right? And then intuition is much more of relaxed, chill, because it knows the truth. So it doesn't need to be so aggressive with you because it has all the wisdom, right? That's the difference between the two. And I deeply believe fear is not a bad thing. Fear's job, just like your parents, right? When they warn you or they want you to live a certain way, they want you to have a certain career. They just want to keep you safe. They just want to protect you. That's all fear wants to do. It doesn't want you to get hurt again. So don't hate on fear because it's still a part of you. It's part of this human experience. The more you hate on something, the more that you give it negative energy, it actually gets larger and it actually makes your experience worse. So thank fear. Thank you, fear. Kind of like the way you would talk to your parents. If they're like, hey, like, put on a jacket, you're gonna get sick. You of course you're gonna get annoyed, right? But you're gonna say, oh, thank you for caring about me. Thank you for giving me this insight, but I'm not gonna take it. I'm good. I don't need the jacket, right? So thank fear for its desire to want to keep you alive and safe, but always trust the inner pings of your intuition. And now you know the difference between the two. Third thing is, it's actually crazy because this is exactly what we spoke about at the seventh Align experience. Co-creating with supportive forces. That's life, right? So when you follow your pings, right? When you follow your intuition, move, take the action, but then freaking let the universe, God, do its job. Okay. It's not all up to you. So you want to give life your all. You want to give it your best effort, right? Like really run after the things that are for you. And if you follow your intuition, you'll know what's for you, what's not for you. But then always know, like, you're going to be met halfway. You're going to be supported. You're going to be guided. It's not all up to you. And at the seventh Align experience, I asked this question. I'm going to ask it to you guys now. What was the biggest blessing that happened to you this year? I want you to think about the biggest blessing that happened so far. We still have a month left of this year. And then I want you to ask yourself, Was it all up to you? Did this blessing come through because you yourself hustled for it and you worked so hard and you timed everything perfectly? Chances are someone helped you, someone guided you, right? There was divine timing. You got different pings and downloads of how to do that thing. It's never just all up to you. So do the best you can, put your best foot forward, but then trust that if it's meant for you, you're going to be guided to the end goal. You're going to get guided to the end journey. The other thing that really, I think, really resonated with me, I'm extremely type A. I'm extremely impatient. I I expect my wishes to be granted immediately. I am like that because I believe in my desires so deeply that this really hit home for me. Where it's, we all know this, but truly hear me when I say this: energy never disappears. Those of you who studied physics, energy is never created nor destroyed. It's never disappears. So every effort you've ever put out is always counted for. Like the universe, God, karma, whatever is tracking all the efforts you put out. You don't need to track it. You don't need to stress out. And per quantum physics, the more open you are to how and when you're going to receive whatever it is, the faster and more ease it comes through. If you're constantly checking and stressing over it, you're actually putting a brake on your desires, right? I talked about this at the Seventh Line experience too. It's like when you're moving towards something and you're taking the action and you're thinking positively and you're very clear and aligned what you want, it's like stepping on a gas pedal, right? Just stepping on it, going for it. When you doubt, when you keep saying, oh, it's not here yet, or you question things, it's like pressing the gas pedal. And do you see, if you think about driving, right, how much energy you waste by gassing, braking, gassing, braking? You can just take a look by, if you own a electric car, how much energy you burn, or if it's a gas enabled car, how much more gas you're using, right? So you're actually slowing down the process when you're constantly checking, constantly freaking out, constantly doubting. Know this deeply. Everything you put out, every energy you ever put out, no effort is ever wasted. And I think recently there's so many things I look back and I'm like, I never understood why I had to learn that, or I never understood why that happened. And I was so annoyed with this thing that happened. Like, why did I meet this person? Why did this happen the way it did? What was the point of all this? You'll know when you're meant to know why you went through certain things or the lessons for it. And now I look back, and when I read that part about like energy never disappears, I look back and I'm like, I had to put in the work years ago to finally see things clock and add up, right? If I didn't do that years ago, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. I wouldn't have been able to learn this specific kind of investment vehicle. I wouldn't have met this person. So know that, trust that nothing is ever wasted. No energy is ever wasted. The other one part, my man, am I guilty of this? The way up is down first. So the universe, God made everything in your favor. I deeply believe that. I believe everything that happens to all of us is happening in our favor. It's just a matter of perspective. And do you see the blessing? There's always blessings in every situation, at every turn, but do you see it that way? And that's up to you. Like it depends on your glasses, your views, how you're kind of perceiving life. What color lenses are you wearing? And so universe made everything. Universe made fear, made your ego, made resistance. It's all part of it. And why is that? You need resistance. You need negative forces. You need all this stuff to get you to the next level, right? Even if you think about when you work out, when you're training your muscles, you want to make them stronger, right? Why do we put on resistance? Why do we train? Because we want to get stronger, right? It's when you're putting, and why do we even work out? The whole point of working out is to put your body through stress so that when you go through actual stressful situations in life, your body can handle it. That's a whole, it's like whenever you have to like do something very strenuous, mentally, physically, you already train at the gym normally, so it becomes a breeze for you. That's the beauty of training. It's the challenges genuinely make you better. And so when you are right before you go through a breakthrough in life, say like everything's flowing, going well, you're following your intuition, right? Everything's flowing. When you want to jump to the next level, right before your next breakthrough, you want to break the next level, it will feel like resistance, the world's falling apart or nothing's happening. It will feel like, wait, am I on the wrong path? And that's because when you're heading to the next level, you're not used to this level yet. So you don't see the blessings yet. Because you're not, it's kind of like new when you make more money and you up there, it's going to be more quote unquote problems and more things you have to consider. But it's just because you haven't considered those things before because you've hit the next level. So when you feel like nothing's happening or the world's falling apart, say thank you because it actually means you don't see the blessing yet because the blessings are actually bigger than what you're experiencing and what you're used to. Um, and in Hebrews, I think this is so beautiful. The root word for test or challenge is miracle because embedded in that test and challenge is the upcoming miracle. I think that's so beautiful. So the way up is to first go down and trust that when you feel like nothing is working for you, it actually all is working for you, but just in a higher level. Now, let's talk about the dangers of instant gratification. And boy, has that been my biggest test through all my younger life and I would say young adult life. So, when our ego doesn't see the upcoming blessings yet, right? It will be tested by what we call Kabbalah calls false gods, which is basically short-term solutions or things that give us a temporary high, but it actually pushes us further away from our true self and our long-term blessings. It actually makes us less aligned and makes us smaller and less vibrant, these false gods. So they can be anger, blaming other people, drugs, external validation, but most often than not, it's your false god will be a form of another person. And it's chasing someone that you believe represents or you're not even you believe, you don't even realize it, but you subconsciously, whether it's based on like past programming or what you've been through, you chase other people that are a band-aid solution to a wound or something that you haven't healed before. It could be an insecurity, it could be something that, you've just never maybe even looked at closely, don't want to look at. So you chase after people who become that band-aid solution, not the actual healing, just a band-aid over the wound, right? And these short-term gratifications, these false gods, come with a temporary high, right? They feel and look like love. That's why you go towards it because it feels good. It feels like, okay, this is for me. But it actually just feeds your ego. It doesn't feed your soul and who you are in the most aligned version. And these temporary highs actually are trade-offs for your long-term blessing. So that's why there's a danger to kind of going after these false gods. Why it's so important to really know the voice of your intuition and your soul, because when you ask yourself and you ask your intuition, and keep in mind, intuition is, you don't turn it off. It's always on. As humans, we always have it. We're always being guided. It's just, are you listening, right? So when I say ask for intuition, it's much more of clearing out other people's thoughts and other people's energies and really tuning into yourself to say, what's true for me? What's my next step? What do I need to know right now? That is how you're going to be able to be more cognizant and not fall into the traps of false gods. If anything, you want to get to a point where you can see the experience coming to you and your intuition will show you or tell you, I know exactly why this is happening to me. I know exactly why this person's in my life and what I meant to learn. And so you go about that life journey because you know there's some blessing or something good you're getting out of it, and you already know what it is. So you're less reactive and you're less trying to get someone's attention or get this opportunity. You're very much like, I know exactly why I'm in this situation. I know exactly what I meant to learn. And that is real true power. And that's when you really have activated your intuition. Let's talk about the downfalls of chasing what's not yours. So when you chase something that's not yours, per Kabbalah, you actually lose what you have. And you actually oftentimes lose yourself, who your true self is, the highest path. And you'll get further and further away from who you're supposed to be And meaning who you're supposed to be, like who you were born to be, not what society tells you, but like who you were made to be and why you're on planet Earth. You get further and further away from that when you're chasing after things that are not yours. Or you end up being someone that is not your highest calling, and you become like a watered down version or shell version of you. And I feel like that's what a lot of people have felt. I think that's why a lot of you guys resonated with the article I wrote on the Great Realignment, because you're like, damn, I'm chasing all these money, the status, the accolades, the people who I think will make me look good. But then at the end of the night, I am still empty because you're just becoming a shell of a human. On the outside, looks like everything's fine and dandy, right? You're doing all the clean juices, you're doing all the right things that you're supposed to do. You have the right job, you're doing the right person. That's perfect on paper. But then at the night, you still feel so numb and so empty because this version you've curated is not who you truly are. It's not why you're put on planet Earth. It's not why you're here. So you're just getting further and further away from your true self. And you also can, what by chasing what's not yours, that's why you really cannot compare yourself to other people. So I really want you to let this sink in. Completely understand social media, keeping up with the Joneses. There's so much pressure that we can feel when you feel like, okay, I want this thing, but I don't have it yet, but this person has it. Or like, I want to experience this, but I can't right now in this current position. Again, let your desires show you what you ultimately want and what you're going to have, right? But your path of getting there is going to be very different from other people. We are all, you know, the stats on creating human. I always talk about this in my events. It's 1 in 1 billion. You literally hit the jackpot just by being alive. And the odds of you being alive are that small. And you really think you're just an accident, like you're just like a random creation. I don't believe that. I believe when something's so rare, like with those chances, you're here for a reason. It's your job to remember why you're here. It's your job to rediscover your gifts and share that with humanity. And so when you're constantly comparing yourself with other people, you're trying to become more and more like the other person, whether looking like them, acting like them, having their life, but that's not meant for you. And when you have all those things, that's why I feel like a lot of you guys resonate with my work. And when you have all those things that you think you should have, you're still freaking empty because that's not what makes your soul come alive. That's not what makes you genuinely happy. So it's so important to stay on your highest version of you and take the steps and action that you get from your intuition. Um, and I really like this. So in per Kabbalah, when people ask like how do you know something's for you, Kabbalah believes that when you feel gratitude, appreciation, and blessed beyond without being conceited or full of yourself, I think it's really beautiful. I think from my personal experience when I work with clients and stuff, I think that's when you know it gives you this peace. You're so grateful, you're so happy for it, but you don't think like, oh, I'm the shit because of that. You think like, wow, I'm so blessed because I was given it from a higher power, from the universe. And it's not, again, all up to you. It's you're co-creating with the universe. And I think the last thing that ultimately ties Kabbalah together, our human existence, and what I deeply believe is ultimately we do all these things in life because we want to return back to being love. I feel in society now, probably always, but I feel it so strongly the last couple of years. It's so much of like, what can I get from love? What does this person do for me? What can I gain from this relationship, right? Versus when you are being love, when you are of love and you just radiate love and you're so abundant and pouring glowing love that that is the highest form. You don't need anything from anybody because you already are love. And when you already are love, that's how you actually attract healthy partners, romantic partners, friendships, business partners. There's no like this chasing of this desperation. It's more of like pouring in love into each other because we have different gifts, we have different skill sets, and we're all so different. But it's not like this desperation to need it. And everyone knows this, when you chase after something, it's going to run away, right? So all we want to do in this life is just get closer to being love, giving and receiving love, and from a very open, trusting, not tit for tat way. And so I also love how Kabbalah talks about doing things with love makes things feel very effortless. And that really resonated with me because, like, whenever I do any of my work, like my coaching work, or I'm creating programs for the line experience or the lead circle now, I just am so deeply in love with the process that, like, I'm truly in flow, and every little detail, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm literally up 14 hours doing this one specific thing and I'm like so obsessed with it and like I'm so tired. I don't feel that. I just feel like I've lost track of time. I'm completely in flow and I'm pouring so much love into it because I want this to be the best thing that people can experience. I want people to experience this session and be truly lit up, like something in them switches, something in them clicks, something that they've always wanted to figure out, what they couldn't figure out. I want to be that catalyst. And so I think when I'm pouring with that intention, I want people to get that. And I'm pouring things with love, it truly doesn't feel like work. I really don't feel like I honestly work a day in my life anymore. So I hope this is all helpful. I hope you guys get aha moments from all of this, and definitely take with you what resonates, apply it to your life. Would love to hear what resonated the most with you guys, what downloads you got, what epiphanies you got out of this. And by you sharing, you actually get people to also open up and people to realize, wait, that also happened to me. And it helps people not only have their own light bulb moments, but also feel how connected we truly all are and how beautiful this human experience is, that we're never alone. We're connected to each other. We're connected to a higher power, to the universe. And I just hope, I'm getting chills. I just hope this episode crack something open for you so you really make the most of this last month of the year and you really make December the most incredible month that's full of all the blessings and abundance, and that's because you are the blessing, you are the abundance, you are the love. The world's just waiting for you to radiate that.